Welcome once again to Sigil Confidential, fantasy noir within the city of doors.
Good
Maybe
evening,
not right
everyone.
at the moment.
Oh yes, not right at the moment. Go ahead, Bram. I know you're dying.
Yeah, well, speaking of not right at the moment, last time on Sigil Confidential, the crew got to work dispatching the Afridi blocking their path. They were a nuisance, to be sure, but even with the crew needing a good rest, they went down easily enough. The 3 fire elementals present, seeing that they were desperately outmatched, attempted a last-ditch effort to trap the crew on the plane of fire by setting their portal home ablaze. This didn't exactly work. They were snuffed out in short order. As they were putting out the last of the portal's fires and checking it over, Ratt detected a misalignment in the portal, one serious enough to where there was a 25% chance the portal would take them somewhere other than Sigil, and a minuscule chance that they would vanish into oblivion. Though they were more likely to end up back home than not, getting stranded on an unknown plane of existence away from everyone else was not something anyone wanted to risk. Istu, with their deep knowledge of chronergy, determined that if one person took the risk ahead of everyone else with an item of deep importance in their hands, the others could focus on that item and at least all end up in the same place. Istu was insistent on taking the risk with Stapleton's derby as a focus. They posited that they were the most expendable individual as no one trusted them, and therefore that made them the best person to take that risk in case something went wrong. This was incredibly suspicious to the others, especially when Istu would be in possession of the one item nearest and dearest to Jimmy's heart, but Jimmy gladly walked over and placed Stapleton's derby on their head himself. Istu dutifully stepped through the portal, and everyone else focused on the hat and followed suit. As soon as they regained their composure, an endless grid of perfectly straight roads stretched before them, with trees growing in absolute perfect alignment, and a day and night cycle simulated by a globe turning atop an incredibly tall mountain. The ghost adopted a look of deep displeasure as she realized where they were. They were standing on the first layer of Arcadia. Will our crew ever be able to catch a break? Join us as the crew attempts to return to headquarters right now on Sigil Confidential. Hell to pay.
Bravo.
Yes, very good.
Hey,
Bravo.
let's go.
Bravo. Okay, let me see here. That was as always perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh yes. However, let's see. Why is this? Already, I'm having tech issues.
Because the map is pixelated.
Oh no, the stream actually. Why is that? You guys go ahead and talk amongst yourselves a moment. It's nothing that'll break what's going on with you guys.
Oh, sure. We'll just do our usual thing. We were standing around, we were goofing slightly. Someone posited that there might be arcades on Arcadia.
Of course, why not?
I don't know if I recognize this place.
I don't think a lot of military campaigns happen here, quite frankly.
No, probably not.
But we do know it's Arcadia. I don't know if it was the Ghost or Istu.
It was the ghost.
It was the Ghost. Okay, Ghost has already said that this is almost certainly Arcadia.
She was like, it's a sodding Arcadia.
And I think I also agreed. So between both of us, we were in agreement that this is not a fun place.
Yep. And the Blackjammer's Cutlass was agreeing with Bran when she said, I'm not comfortable with this place. And she was suggesting, the Harmonium as, maybe a way to get back to Sigil.
Oof. I like
Knowing that their headquarters is somewhere on Arcadia. their non-sigil headquarters anyways, because every faction has a non-sigil headquarters.
This is true. So, as you stand where you are, and as we've discussed, some of you do have a little knowledge of Arcadia, some of our planar folks. And I believe we assessed that you are not terribly far from Mount Clangaden, right? If I remember
I
correctly.
believe you said so, yeah.
Obviously, that's a very
It's visible, at
easy
least.
thing to see.
Yeah.
Mount Clangaden. Have you guys any ideas, thoughts, or plans as to what to do from here?
Well, I'm gonna
We're
start
in
with
a
a
somewhat-
fresh cigar.
That's a good start. That's a good start. But I believe we're kind of out in the countryside, are we not?
Yes. Well, I mean, the entire area is there's a lot of nature here, but the trees themselves like are all kind of a uniform height, all uniform spacing. The grass only grows one length and stops. The roads are perfect grids, including the one you're standing on currently. In the distance,
The wildflowers grow to the same height as the grass, and like none of the colors impose on each other.
well, that's one of the things that is a little odd. Now you will see random bits of wildlife, and you will see, of course, the flora about you, but it has an almost metallic quality to it. Everything you see color-wise, it is kind of a uniform color scheme as well, just like Prim just said. So everything is orderly. Those of you of a more chaotic nature, probably your skin's crawling a little bit being here.
Bryn already said that at the end of last session. This place is making my skin crawl.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
She's just going to like look off to the side, glance down at the grass on the floor, and just say, "This place looks fake."
Maybe a little.
From where we're standing, can Jimmy sight anything in the distance? Any sign of habitation? He is, after all, a city boy.
Because of the level playing field, that's not a terribly difficult thing. Yeah. Like you can see, of course, once again, Mount Clangaden is the easiest to find location.
Of course.
Those of you with any religious knowledge or planar knowledge of what is there know you're probably not going to be very welcome if you go there. And you also know that the Basilica of St. Cuthbert, which you can see there, is a thing. It's a very large thing. There is also a border town.
Okay.
I think was it Fortitude, I think was the name of it. So I think that is an option that we had already discussed a little bit, if I remember correctly.
The gate town, yeah, but
Big 8 Town, yeah,
Well.
sorry.
In my experience, the best way to find civilization is to just start blowing random shit up and wait for it to find you.
I mean,
So, if it's perfectly
Now,
flat here, apart
this-
from the
I'm-
mountain, can we see Fortitude from here?
you could probably make it out, yeah. I'd be willing
I
to
mean,
let that go.
Fortitude would be on the other side of a portal, but
Well, this is part of the city that's here.
oh, all right.
And it does look like a normal city. For sake of ease, we're going to say that's... You can see it past the mountains, just barely.
Can I make a distance check?
Distance is difficult here.
It is. Does Blackjammers let me make a distance check? Supposedly, I am unable to fail navigation checks.
This is true.
But I don't know if this counts.
My goodness, why is this being difficult? None of my keys are working. Okay, there we go. I would allow it to a point as far as being actually navigating, we'll say.
Yeah.
Distance. Yeah, why not? My goodness, why do you have to make this so difficult? Sorry. I'm trying to fix my missing bit here.
Well, all is well. All is well, Church.
Funny thing about working in IT, for those of you here and at home, when I get home, I don't fix anything if I can help it.
I understand. I'm
The
the same way.
catastrophic percentage of IT people who own Apple devices is a true testament to this.
But I have
You
fixed
don't,
it.
you don't understand how true that statement is.
Yes.
I went specifically to an Apple store and said, I want that because if I ever have a problem with it, I don't have to fix it.
I remember.
Okay, so you have options is the main thing.
Yeah.
I will say that there are troops of petitioners that do frequent the roads. You can see them. You can see them primarily because they already see you, and you can tell that they're eyeing you suspiciously for standing there.
Ah, yeah.
I'm going to eye them back suspiciously for looking at me suspiciously.
On the side of the wall, wherever the portal is in Sigil, and probably wherever the portal lets out here, there is a sign posted. No loitering.
Anything that goes against the order of this place will draw suspicion.
Yes.
And there is a regimented expectation of order. I think that's probably the best way to put it.
And there is a Fae and a humanoid with Fae ancestry standing on the road right now.
We're probably
Yes.
the very definition of disorder.
Well, more importantly, and to her credit, in fairness, she is not ashamed of that fact either. I.e., not used to hiding it. It's in every part of her. You know, the way she dresses, she has that flair, that chaotic nature, that blank-eyed sparkle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so mountains and basilicas are not of great interest to Jimmy. If he can see a town, he wants a town.
Okay.
I might suggest wherever trade occurs, that's likely to have the quick access to the portal home.
And
I like the odds.
honestly, I'm not too keen on dealing with a harmonium right now. It would probably be in our best interest to get to Fortitude, so we would at least be on the outlands.
Well, no time like the present. How far does that walk look? And I'd like to make my check, Church.
Go ahead. Survival.
Yes. And I'll roll it, and it'll be a number, but also I have blackjammers.
It's about a day's travel. You think.
Jimmy looks and he says, "It is really flat here, isn't it?" Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a haul. Yeah, is it?
About how much, and do you think we'll be able to do something with Keon's soul before then?
That's a hard day's walk.
Ugh.
Hard day's walk. He looks up. Do they have day and night here?
Bryn points up at the orb.
Giant orb in the sky. The orb
All right, that
of
thing
day.
moves like normal.
Define
From-
normal.
From what I read, that thing is what simulates a day and night cycle on this layer.
All right, I'm a little suspicious. You know, you get real used to looking up and seeing the mother's head at night. Ever since I left, you can't really trust the sky.
Fair.
Yeah, well, in that case, it'll probably be dark by the time we get there. But I mean, what's gonna attack us here, really? Come on.
Hopefully nothing, though. It depends on whether we are on our best behavior by their standards, as she glances toward the partitioners with like a subtle nod.
Well,
They-
let's get moving then.
They,
shouldn't we?
they glare at you as you do. Start whispering amongst themselves.
Jimmy starts walking. All right, try not to look too disorderly now.
Istu attempts to look organized.
Rat knows how to march.
It's very orderly. They love that here.
What even roll for looking organized? Like,
Performance for you. You're not.
God. Let's see how bad that stat is. Let's just take a look. Actually not bad, huh? Let me see how I do.
Yeah. Don't you auntie get a bonus to it?
Do I?
I think so.
I
yeah.
rolled it wrong. I'm sorry. 16's not bad anyway.
Hey, the 20 comes first. You get that 20.
Eh.
Yeah, I think you auntie get like base proficiency in performance or something, right?
Dark
I
vision,
don't
innate
think
spellcasting, magic
so.
resistance, poison immunity, lucky, chronal shift, temporal awareness, momentary stasis, arcane abeyance. I have all my stuff in my character sheet, so I don't know of that, but maybe in a text that I did not consult.
Yeah, that's quite possible. I'm probably remembering like flavor text for you auntie from previous editions or other sources. I think the Yuan-Ti are supposed to be very good liars, is the thing.
They are. I think it's mainly because they have the ultimate poker face.
Yeah.
They're good liars, but they're not very charismatic in the way they communicate. So they're just difficult to read. They don't do a good job of convincing you. They just are difficult. Innately, is what I get off of them, reading that. So I don't know if that would be advantage, maybe just like +1 or something.
So we're traveling on then?
Yeah, we're traveling on. If a town is visible in the mountains, we'll be moving in that direction at the very least.
So
Might take a day, but who knows?
Sorry. The first thing that you're going to come across is something quite amazing for those of you who have never seen it.
Well, I'm probably on that list.
The River Styx.
Ah, I'm I might have a certain elemental familiarity with it, but no, I have not seen that.
Yeah. So yeah, you will be kind of skirting it, let's say. You'll be able to see it. It's more of a wonder than anything you really need to worry about, unless somebody wants to try and go fishing or swimming.
There's a certain appeal, you know?
Istu takes out their water skin.
Yeah.
Do I feel a pull in my chest when I look down into those dark waters?
Yeah,
Wait a
you
minute.
do.
Does the Styx even go through Arcadia? Because I'm not seeing anything that says it does. It goes through Acheron.
Oh, yeah. No, it goes through everything.
Church says so, and I believe him, mostly because he decides.
So how did that story of Hercules go? He was dipped, right?
Achilles.
You're thinking Achilles,
That's
and
the one.
you do need someone to pull
thinking
you
the-
back out.
Or you're thinking the Disney movie.
Also that, yes.
Ooh.
They did kind of blend in that one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Does anybody
is
have
actually
a
pretty damn
Bigby's
movie.
hand?
I think everybody has Bigby's hand.
I have a
Not
big
me.
hand. I don't have Bigby's hand.
I have mage hand. I don't have Bigby's hand.
We have telekinesis. It's like Bigby's.
It's
We
a
don't-
lot. It's like a lot of things. Church
We
is
don't,
the
we don't take
way.
the same spells in this party. In this household, we share.
Church, must we ford the river Styx
No,
to travel
no,
in our current
it
direction?
is not in your way. Like, you'll
Okay.
just be skirting the edge of it.
All right.
I mean, Bren's got Big B's hand, but she ain't gonna encourage anyone to take a dip in that.
I will wander over to the shore and look down.
Alright.
What is in the river Styx?
The first thing you see, your first impression is it's just murky black water with strange rippling that occurs just below the surface. As a little bit of time passes, you begin to get little glimpses of hands, faces, bodies, teeming, swirling, writhing just beneath the surface, each one desperately trying to break through. Though you're not sure anything is actually keeping them below, you do wonder that if you were to get too close, whether or not you might be joining them.
Bren is going to walk up, put her hand on Jimmy's shoulder, and be like, "You should probably get a move on, Jimmy. You don't want to be very close to the Styx."
He looks down into the water and he whispers to the restless dead, "One day. Not today, though."
Not if I have something to say about that.
Jimmy starts to stroll away with the ghost. He says, our time comes in its proper pace. I do my best to dodge, though.
It might, though. Not all souls go to the Styx, Jimmy.
Damn shame, it seems nice. Cool, pleasant.
So you will be able to skirt it, provided nobody decides to get brave. I mean, it's nothing that's in your way, like I said. More a wonder that you're passing.
I will gladly skirt it, but that's as close as I'm getting.
As you begin to pass Mount Clangeddon, you look up and you can see this just perfectly ordered structure. Like this is a perfect cone of a mountain. Which for anyone who's from the prime material plane, that is really weird. Nature doesn't work that way on the prime material plane. Of course, at its pinnacle, you do see the orb of day and night, which in and of itself is a strange wonder. You can also make out the affectations of the dwarves all along the mountain. Master crafting, the likes of which your eyes provided you've never been here, have ever seen. You can hear the faint ringing of hammers against anvils and smell the smoke and sweat and soot coming off the mountain. But rather than being a gross or rough smell, there's a strange pleasantness to it almost, like nostalgia, even though it doesn't really seem to have any reason to make you feel that way.
It might have a reason to make Jimmy feel that way.
In general, in general.
The dwarves I fell in with in my youth were not really the crafting sort, strange as that might seem.
It is dwarven culture.
Have I maybe heard of like some tales of like the dwarven craftsmen, like the craftsmasters of Arcadia?
They no, you have no idea. They're dwarves. They ain't bad. Granted, to be fair, as a gnome, and given your close genealogy to the dwarves, at least on some level, you would at least know who Clangaden is.
Oh, okay. Because if I knew a little bit more, I might suggest that while we're here, there could be a master craftsman available. Or as we're passing by, that may be worth looking into.
As I said before, those of you who are familiar with this know that unless you are a dwarf, you're not going to be welcome on that mountain. Unless you have like something really special that would endear you to them.
I mean, Bryn doesn't give a cranium rat's ass. She just wants out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have a mutual shared interest in seeing a chaotic-natured soul like a Rakshasa bound in eternity.
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
They're dwarves.
Think it's to craft a cool thing.
They do that all day anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just what gets them off. Like, you get to craft something that nobody's ever thought of before.
They're less
It
about.
wouldn't be for their own
trinkets.
hordes, so they wouldn't have any interest in us.
Yeah, they're less about that type of creation. That's more of a know-me thing.
Got it. Well, never mind then.
So, unless anyone wants, like I said, to stop, I'm just describing what you're seeing kind of as you're going more than
Oh yeah,
anything.
Jimmy comments on the mountain as we go past. He says, "So did they make the mountain too, or just all this nonsense on it?"
All the nonsense, Jimmy.
That's a big question. Which came first, the mountain or the dwarf?
Oh, that's older than the hills. That question.
Older than dirt.
When you've got planes that embody philosophical concepts such as these, you tend to see all of these concepts pushed to their logical extremes. And Arcadia is a logical extreme is whenever perfect order for the common good is pushed to such an extreme. Get all of this unnatural, barmy, sodding bleh.
Unnatural seems fair. I mean, I probably drew a better mountain than that at 8, but it seems nice enough.
So, at this point, you guys
Depends on
are...
your definition of nice, Jimmy.
As of this point, you guys are sticking to the road, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen no need to travel off of it yet.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. So, passing on, I assume?
Yeah, I don't even know what it is. Nobody's told me yet.
All right. Well, in the distance, as you make the rounds past Mount Clangeddon. Right, you're moving past. You're making really good time. Travel is not inhibited really anyway. In fact, you feel like this is probably the most efficient travel you've likely seen ever or in a long time, depending. In the distance, you do see incredibly well-ordered buildings. In fact, perfectly ordered buildings set upon a hill in the distance. Looks like the city that you've been heading towards. You do see movement, kind of, it's very faint at this point because of the distance, but you do see a lot of bustling movement.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Even from here, seeing everything laid out so beautifully on a grid, just this buzzing efficiency, Jimmy says, "Why do I feel like this place has never needed either of my services?"
You'd be surprised, Jimmy.
I'm more surprised that it's never needed mine.
Just because it's a plane of perfect order with a good temperance doesn't mean that Burks of other alignments don't come here.
Oh, sure. I mean, waves a hand at the party generally. But some places you get the feeling they'd rather handle everything in-house.
Fair enough.
How we looking on that cage?
How much time has it been, Church, since we last fought the devils in Sigil?
Close to a day.
Oh, we got to do that like now.
As far as time goes, you're getting you're getting towards the evening portion of that day. Let's say that tail end of it.
Yeah, we got to hit that now.
Yeah, true enough. The Kian soul is only bound for 8 hours in this cage.
Would we have time to make the city? How far away are we looking, Church?
Based on the rate of travel that you've seen thus far, I would say, yeah, provided nothing hinders you on your way.
That would be for the best.
It's kind of sounding like we should just deal with this real quick.
Jimmy glances around for petitioners of a god who might take exception.
There's petitioners all over the place. In fact, you're looking around, you actually notice they're slightly thicker here.
Jimmy, didn't you want to ask Kian questions first? We're going to have to find a place to pause and do that.
Yeah, but I feel like a tent springing up on the side of the road here is,
Disorderly and would get noticed.
That is a
about as
valid
out of
assumption.
place as flat ground in Sigil.
That's a valid assumption.
Alright, well,
Well, I guess nobody ever said we couldn't walk and talk, right?
and then while you do that, because it seems like I don't really have better options, better plans. I'm gonna reach into my vest and take a cannonball out. The full 10-pound cannonball, just pure iron.
Okay. And you are still walking as you do this?
Yep. And I'm going to weave a 4th level fabricate into this cannonball and form it into a lantern.
Okay.
Bryn is going to unclip the tiny silver cage from her side and hold it sort of between her and Jimmy as she, well, I mean, she's probably already walking beside Jimmy, let's be real. But she's going to go ahead and hold Keon to where the both of them can see him and say, now, Jimmy, we can do 5 actions with Keon for him to be able to remain within the cage. A 6th action will release him from his contract early, and his soul will be out.
Yeah, let's not do that. Gather round, everybody. The interrogation is starting.
Everybody gather around.
I'm doing my 10-minute casting of reshaping this cannonball into a lantern.
Well, we can pass the 10 minutes. That's no problem.
Oh, okay.
So you begin casting this spell. You guys are kind of bustling to get all this done while you're moving. Let's make a fancy dice roll.
Oh, we love those.
Okay. So, as you're doing this, coming the opposite direction, you see a group of 3 humanoid petitioners. They appear to be somewhere in their 20s each. All the exact same height, all carrying the exact same equipment, which appears to be a extremely well polished and clean set of scale mail, a long spear, and a buckler. They immediately, in an orderly fashion, move into a single file line as they approach where you are, eyeing you suspiciously.
I am well practiced at not looking suspicious at all.
I am very suspicious looking, and I'm reshaping an orb of iron in my bare hands.
Oh, they got dwarves here. That's normal.
Yeah, I guess, but deal with this. I'm busy right now. Hey, Ristur,
Let's-
go see what they want. Take a couple of steps toward them, see if they're still looking chatty.
As if you read my mind.
I mean, he's just gonna step forward though. He's not gonna talk. He ain't a talker. So he'll make sure they know that hey, the group got some big boy. That's all that matters.
Jimmy's gonna give a slight nod. A very well calibrated and orderly nod to the 3 as they pass.
Okay.
But we are not slacking the pace at all.
And we are assuming formation, or just everyone walking?
I told everybody to gather up, so apart from Ristur, who has specifically said that he is, standing between the group at large and our passers-by, I think we're just kind of in a little clump.
Bryn is going to continue walking beside Jimmy. She will move in front or behind him as much as necessary to make sure that the 3 have room to pass on the side of her, but she's not going to get in any sort of orderly line beyond that.
Makes total sense. All right. So they scowl at you. As this little progression passes,
Mhm, mhm. I have been scowled at by worse than you, sirs. I don't say that a lot.
They're
He
not
thinks
even
that, though.
they're not even worth Bryn's attention. As much as she would like to mess with them, they're beneath her.
I have been scowled at by gods, devils, and pit fiends today.
True. I tell you what. This is a belligerent sensation. I'm getting like we're not in the mood for you right now. Piss off type.
Jimmy hides it very well.
And I'll let you choose somebody to make an intimidation check if you'd like. If you'd like.
Can anybody beat a 10?
I get to use a tool, so I can have a 17.
Bryn's got a plus 15.
You got a plus 15 intimidation?
Yes.
Oh, you took expertise in that, didn't you?
Yes.
Ghost is scary.
I've got expertise in anything that uses a tool, and my accelerator counts as a tool.
Well, that's...
So I have a 17 in
I think it's
intimidation.
using a tool to make something, not
What? No, it's using the tool
intimidation
to
is
aid
skill
in
itself.
the check.
intimidation skill.
Yeah.
Which-
Guns are intimidating.
Guns are a tool that I can use to add to the check.
I think rules as written, Bryn is like the least contentious in that she just like there's no debating over whether she has a plus 15 intimidation.
Nope. Bryn stole a soul?
Yes, it's
Even
holding
I'm
the soul.
terrified. Like the player behind the screen.
So, want Bryn to do it.
Yeah, sure,
go
sure.
ahead.
Rolls the plus 15.
All right.
All
There
right.
you go.
Pretty good.
So they
I like that it's in caps lock too.
intimidation.
Intimidation.
So they actually nestle right along the edge of the road. They do not breach the border of it though. Every step just still in unison, still in perfect sync. They turn their heads away from you, focus front, and the three of them march in perfect unison past you.
Better.
Bryn's just going to smirk. Just a little half smile. Little
Even
smug
far from home.
self-satisfaction.
Even far from home, as we all obviously are, we don't look like pushovers.
No, this is true. This
But,
is true.
Yeah,
And
so-
you are building a reputation throughout the plains on some level. I don't know if this is
Theoretically,
helping.
we could be recognized.
It is very possible. You guys have achieved quite a bit of notoriety. The plains
Except-
are a big place, but still.
Except the only people who recognize a ghost face are in her retinue, so she's just kind of intimidating, like, as a person.
She's intimidated by reputation.
So
yeah,
Rat
but she's
knew
kind of
of
a
her,
scary
but
person.
hadn't met her. I don't
Call
know
her-
if put two and two together.
don't call her the ghost for nothing.
Mm.
Exactly.
So you continue on the road. And as you approach closer, like I said, the city is perfection. Every street is a perfect line. They all form a radiating kind of half circle around this hill. Every building is perfectly sized to where they keep an orderly progression going up the hill. It's actually kind of impressive to see. It's like one of those really satisfying things, you know what I mean? Like peeling the clear plastic off of a new screen.
Before we get into town, though, we were planning to burn some of these questions so that we don't have to spend time on it in town.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say one more thing. Yes,
Yes.
oddly satisfying, exactly. At this range, you can see that the vast majority of the busy figures that you saw are not human. They
As you
are,
might expect.
for you, Jimmy, especially, you may have seen something like this, but even in Sigil, very rarely.
Mhm.
This is an insectoid race of ant centaurs.
That's a little weird.
It is a little weird. They do appear very busy and very orderly, though.
I expect nothing less.
So you may go ahead. I just wanted to let you know that this is what you're seeing as you get closer.
I will not, under any circumstances, allow my concern to show on my face, but I'm slightly concerned. But as we walk, Jimmy says to the party, all right, 5 questions. I got a few, but let's agree on them all before we start. Right? Everybody good?
Side question.
Yeah.
A ghost,
Yes.
like this, and he kind of, and Ratt twists his hands a little bit, putting final shapes and touches on the lantern.
Okay.
Like that?
Fine enough. Any lantern will do.
All right, and then it'll finalize, and he'll hand it to you.
Did you make that out of a cannonball?
I did.
That ought to be pretty sturdy, at least. God, a little bit heavy.
Well, you know, we work with what you got on hand.
Yeah, it's true. Alright, so I want to know why they got 1,000,000 gold on my head. What was Keon doing for his mob that was so important? What does Scratch want us to steal? I prefer to know before he asks us. Where are they headquartered? Even if we go with all those, that still leaves one floating. Thoughts?
If you want to know where they're headquartered in order to meet up with Scratch, I think we have a good hint in that he wants us to meet at the Split Tail Casino.
Is there anything that says that we have to ask all 5 at the same time and then not ask again? Like, all of them have to be? If we only have 4 questions, why can't we save one?
Because we got about 8 hours worth of him being stuck in that cage, and it is my intent to shove him in a lantern before we run out of time.
But if he's in the lantern, does the time get extended?
The time does not get extended in the lantern unless that is a specific part of the binding spell that keeps him there.
Ah,
Yeah, because with ghost lanterns, you can't really ask them questions or anything. They're just there to get you light, give you light, stabilize you in a mage hand if you want it, though we are going to give Keon's particular lantern, like, special properties, hopefully, if the wish goes well, but, you know.
Fair.
That ain't one of them, because we don't want him to talk to us, because we don't want him influencing any Burke at all.
Yes. In reality, that is to say, in the game, Jimmy responds to this question by saying, I don't really know what happens, honestly, but I've been told the spell is a little unpredictable, so I wouldn't bet on it.
If we ask these questions, do they have to answer with truth?
Yes.
Hmm.
They can
We
be
could ask-
cryptic, but dead men tell no tales.
We could ask something that would help us in our abilities. I mean, Rakshasas are notoriously persuasive. We could learn something that would help us to be more persuasive as well, maybe.
Jimmy thumbs his vest and says, I'm a better liar than that Rakshasa.
But still,
Might not even be wrong.
boons of knowledge should not be neglected.
That is so is too.
Jimmy contemplates. I don't know if you can get a whole lesson out of the guy. He looks at the ghost.
Even one thing that they can tell you can change your perspective and change your effectiveness.
When it comes to lying to people, there's not really any one thing. You just have to spend a lot of time understanding how people work and what they want.
Your declarations are based on the assumption that you know more than the Rakshasa can teach.
Well, he's in the cage and I'm not. I think I might know more.
That's a fair assessment as well, to be honest.
What? There's a reason strength and intelligence are two different scores.
Just because you've
Jimmy's
defeated an adversary doesn't mean you have nothing to learn from them.
Jimmy's charisma, maximum.
Assuming that you know more about your field of knowledge from someone that you've bested is a good way to paint yourself into a corner. You can learn things from people who are worse at things than you.
Jimmy strokes his chin.
Not all of us are as good at persuasion as you, right?
Jimmy strokes his chin.
So.
But how would you phrase it as a question?
I mean, I'm not the talker, so I'm the thinker. So the thinker wants to get smart at everything. So, like,
tell you
maybe.
what, I will teach you how to lie.
Hey.
And we'll ask him something that will maybe save my skin.
See,
Lots
yeah, the dialogue is just kind of, we're working through things, thinking of thoughts, coming up with ideas, workshopping stuff. Yeah.
Getting places.
Yeah.
But
it's all good. It's all
other
good.
suggestions for that all-important question number 5. Draken, what you got for me?
Yeah, we never really heard from Draken, have we?
Yeah, is your microphone working, buddy?
Yeah, sorry. I'm a little under the weather.
Oh, apologies.
Well, Jimmy, I think we talked about the obvious ones. Perhaps, does he know of a way out of here?
Out of here? I feel like this is not his home territory.
No, but that's what I'm wondering. Maybe he knows of a way out of here. Not necessarily useful, but I mean, we obviously know who is stacked up against Gentleman Scratch, Angler. So it's not like we can use one against the other because we already know about that.
Oh, wait. No, that's... You're a genius even if you're dismissing your own genius as you say it. We know they're a little opposed. We don't actually know what the deal is between Scratch and the Angler.
Yeah, that is a good point, Jimmy. We could ask him what and kind of use that, see if we can figure out how to use them against each other.
Stealth big brain.
I would like to know what Scratch wants with the Angler in general.
Alright. Well. I think we do this real clever, right? So we've only got 5. We might have to adapt as we go. Let's do the big ones first, just in case they give us follow-ups. And we'll put the easy ones at the end.
Alright.
I'm thinking, like, where are they headquartered? We got an idea, or at least a lead. We can maybe drop that if we have to. And then what does he want us to steal? Well, we're going to find out soon enough, honestly. I'd love to have steal the march on him, but we'll find out eventually. But the others, never know what you'll turn up with those.
That's fair as well.
Alright. We'll let Master Miss get back. Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. We ready to run this thing?
Ask away, Jimmy. I think we have all of our questions in order.
Alright. He looks down at the soul cage. Knock, knock. Taps it on the side.
The hell do you want?
Answers. Answers. First one. Why is there 1,000,000 gold on my head? Seems excessive.
Why do you think? Because you've stepped on the toes of the most powerful creature in hell. You brought the angler to Sigil.
That's news to Jimmy, but he's not going to blurt out anything that could be interpreted as a question just yet. So, he says, well, that would do it. That would do it. What is the deal with Scratch and the Angler? What's the bad blood there?
I was gonna say you went pure Seinfeld on that one.
What's the deal with air life?
What's the deal with Scratch and the Angler?
I said a little while ago to Hannah, this was unrelated to the D&D sessions, that Seinfeld was good because any person over the age of 20 can almost unintentionally do a Jerry Seinfeld impression. That delivery is iconically and instantly terrible and recognizable.
Yes.
That's just a product of not much else going on in the 90s.
Everything was going on in the 90s. It was awful.
We had 4 channels. What?
The internet existed. I was there.
There were 4 TV stations.
And none of them mattered, except for the one playing Seinfeld.
No, I mean everybody was watching the same thing because there was only 4 channels, so it was easier to get like a cultural phenom like that.
I think you're slightly off. I think 4 channels would have been like the early 80s.
Oh.
Or like basic cable, because like I was born in the 90s. I remember it. I think my
Cartoon
cable package
Network,
probably
yeah.
had 80 channels in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
like
parents
Nickelodeon.
still have never had cable. So.
my parents didn't have a cable package, and I still had Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
didn't.
good times, good times.
But yeah, so what's the deal with Scratch and the Angler? Said in a less silly voice.
With the angler has something important to Scratch. I don't know what it is.
As these are important, I'm writing down your answers verbatim as we go.
Probably a good idea.
This is what you call relevant note-taking. Alright, so That almost answers another question accidentally, which is, what does Scratch want us to steal? Well, probably something important that the angler has, and Keon doesn't know what it is, so why waste the question? I'm gonna replace it with, how did I bring the angler to Sigil, although I have a suspicion. I have a powerful suspicion.
How did you bring the angler
To Sigil.
That's your question?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the question. I think I know, but I don't know that Jimmy would know, so let's find out.
Okay. You brought it with you from Cairn.
Yeah, that's about what I was expecting.
From
You gotta be careful
Cairn.
with these wish scrolls.
Jimmy, but you met the angler on the Shadowfell.
It's my understanding that what they dropped took a bit of a chunk out of that place.
It did, but do you think that the angler has anything to do with the negative energy plane, Jimmy?
It seems like his kind of place. Yeah. I'd been around the place for a while. Hadn't really met anybody like that there. But in his mind, there's a faint suspicion. Well, actually, I did know one guy. Probably had his fingers in just that many pies.
Just the one guy.
Just the one guy, though, and he was all right. But the seed is planted. Right, so next question. That is 1, 2, 3 so far. What did Keon do for his mob that was gonna be so important and we threw it off?
I was supposed to take that sword that you're wearing, Jimmy.
Oh, this old guy.
Haha, fuck you.
Trust me, I did you a favor. That is very interesting, though.
Keon did have the Evermap on his person.
Isn't it such a good thing that I took a liking to him? Yeah, Tavarius would never have even noticed him, really. Left him up on the wall to rust.
Poor Tiberius.
Poor Tavarius. Giving away priceless artifacts. That, then again, we did save his life, so that's the trade you make.
Very true.
Well, given the Evermap and given Black Jammer's Cutlass, I almost wonder if there's a cavalcade from the Nine Hells that wants to go spell jamming. But for what?
Jimmy points. He says, you know, that's probably more important than the headquarters. We'll just hunt him down ourselves. That's fine. What were you going to do with Black Jammers and that Evermap of yours? Where you going?
They weren't for me. I was just supposed to deliver them.
Well, question burned, but such is life. We got some good stuff. Jimmy
So,
nods and
that's-
nods and says,
That's the max, right? Sorry, I lost count.
well, that was 5. We could technically do 6, but it would release him.
Okay.
We're not going to do 6.
Do it. No, just
No, we got plans.
do it. Let my Rakshasa go. So, carrying on as you're going, still walking, I'm assuming, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. You do not hear a train. There are no trains in Arcadia, although if there were, they would run
always be on time.
pristinely on time. So, as you approach, you do see a sign. Once again, perfectly orderly. It ripples every couple seconds, every few seconds, into a different language. It cycles through them pretty regularly, and there's many that you're like, what? Some actually kind of make your eyes go cross just seeing the lettering, and one or two actually kind of make your head hurt when you see them. But eventually each of you will see one as you approach that you can read.
Okay.
All it says is the word mandible.
Jimmy tilts his head at it. Almost forgotten there was a dwarvish word for mandible. What you suppose that means?
Bryn,
What?
if there are any ant centaurs around, Bryn is going to gesture at them with her hand and says, I have a guess.
Yeah, they're bustling all over the city. However, at this distance, you can also see that not only are the ant centaur creatures, Bryn, you might actually recognize them. Any of you planar folks have probably seen one or two of these. They do branch out on foraging, quote-unquote, missions from time to time into Sigil.
Oh, I'm sure she has. I just can't remember the name of them right now, out of character.
Yeah, Formians.
Yeah, those.
You do actually see a lot of activity in the city of different races from all over. Some you don't even recognize. This is obviously a bustling little burg.
Are they tall? How tall is a Formian?
They're not little.
I figured.
They're medium.
Yeah, they're not ant-sized, if that's what you're wondering.
It's true. I didn't imagine that, but Jimmy's not particularly tall. I'm just wondering if he's got to look up at them.
No. Sorry. I think. Let me look. Yeah, no, they're range about 4.5 feet tall. The ones you're seeing mainly.
Okay.
Some of there's a lot of shorter ones, about half that size. No, they're not huge, but as far as like ant creatures go, they're way big.
Yeah, that's larger than ants are generally supposed to be.
Much. Although it doesn't explain why things are as orderly as they are, aside from where you are.
Yeah. They would prefer it to be pretty nice. Looks back and forth. There's a damned lot of them. Do they look hostile? Probably not. Have we drawn attention on approach? Let me put it like that.
They're not really paying you much mind.
Perfect. Love that.
I mean, like I said, this is a bustling area. There's a lot of other creatures here besides them. They're kind of used to coming and going. You get the sensation that as long as you don't get out of line they're not going to really pay you much mind.
Perfect. So, I have traveled the lands, both of Cairn and somewhat here in the plains. I'm an adventurer of some small note. I feel like I should be able to recognize an inn from the smell alone. Is the mandible an inn? Or is the mandible a signpost for the town?
No, that's for the town.
Alright.
Most assuredly for the town.
I sniff the wind. Is there an inn nearby?
The air is pristine and clean. There is a district for every purpose. You do find, if you search, we'll say, you will find a district for that.
No.
Is there like a market district?
There is a market district, yes. Actually, the burg, as far as you can tell, the market district is huge. It appears to be a trade center more than anything, which would explain the diversity.
Most exciting.
Are you aiming to head off to the market district? Because we are on some sort of timer.
You guys are. I want to run over to the market. You guys meet. You want to meet back at the hotel? Have Ristur give me a call on the Rocky Talkie when you figure that out.
I did. Make sure you knock before you come in the door. We might be shoving a Rakshasa into a lamp.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Alright.
So yeah, can we secure some rooms?
So, first off, the worker that is standing in the greeting area of the building is about close to 3 feet tall, a 3-foot long creature. It does look like a cross between an ant and a centaur up close as you're seeing these. It has humanoid, insectoid crosses of a face, a lot of features of both there, and it's a little weird. So, you speak, and they kind of look at you a little confused. What language are you using?
I've got Common and I've got Dwarvish. I'll probably start with Common.
Okay. The creature kind of pauses. And then, do any of you speak Dwarven?
Just me. No, maybe not just me. I'm pretty sure just me, but...
I would actually like to use one of my charges from my staff to cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay. Well, she's speaking in Dwarven. She.
Mm.
Yeah. She says, "How may I assist you?"
In an accent that is probably as foreign as is humanly possible to this place. Jimmy responds in passable Dwarven. We wish to secure some rooms for the evening.
That would be 10 gold each.
Jimmy nearly chokes on this price. Excuse me, some of the air got down my throat. It was a little too perfect. I honestly do have that, so... How many people do we have, actually? One sec. 60 gold. Jimmy politely containing himself. And what amenities does the standard charge cover?
You will get a room, water, a nutrient supplement, and a soft clump of cloth to lay upon.
Out of curiosity, is the price standardized across the district?
Yes.
I supposed. That only makes sense. And Jimmy begins to count out 60 gold for some cloth and some nutrient supplement.
So you paying?
Yeah, why not?
Alright. And that's 10 gold each.
The quest is to save Jimmy's hide, he pays.
Okay. Alright, so she takes your gold, counts it out meticulously, puts it in piles, one for each of you, and then sweeps them into a drawer, and they fall in perfect orderly fashion into the drawer behind many other stacks of gold. She looks up at you and with her multiple arms hands each of you a key and directs you very politely up the stairs.
Thank you. Jimmy sort of nods his head at the stairs like, let's get the hell up out of here. I'm
Nice.
gonna die if I have to stand here thinking about how much that cost.
Oof.
What do our rooms look like, and are they in like a block?
They are in a block, one after the other. Each room is a perfect 10 by 10 square. Each room has a small pallet laid out in the, we'll say, upper right hand corner. There is a basin of water in the upper left hand corner, a large basin big enough to bathe in should you choose to, and then a mat in the very center of the room for sitting, with a bowl and a spoon with a yellowish ochre colored paste in it.
Can I ask a question for my own peace of mind?
Yes.
If we had wanted to, could we have asked to put 2 people in a room?
You know, I can't really say.
It's a 10 by 10 square with 1 pallet and 1 tub.
I mean, let's be honest with each other. I mean,
It's a cell.
Jimmy and the ghost probably already wouldn't mind being in close quarters. So we could have saved some moolah there, but we didn't.
Jimmy's rich. Come on now.
It's fine.
I did have a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh,
But-
gee, this room is so small. Well,
But
just wanted to stretch, you know. I can't do it. The
Gold.
walls are so close.
60 gold for a pallet and nutrient paste is... Jimmy's kind of souring on this place a little bit.
Perfect order is expensive.
Yeah.
Turns out,
We can go house these next times. Fine. Sleep in shifts anyway, you know?
turns out. But yeah, I think we're gonna move right into some rituals.
Okay.
But may I suggest we take our break first? It's roundabouts time.
I'm perfectly okay with that if you guys are.
Yeah, sure. Just a quick one.
Sure.
Time enough to brew some tea.
Let's go.
Sounds good. We will be right back after this word from our imaginary sponsors. Please stay tuned. go.
There's the
we're
train.
back. And we're back. There we go.
Sorry.
All right. Last time on... No, I'm just joking.
Eh?
Hey, that's my job.
It is. And you know what? No one could ever replace you. Okay, so... Here we are. You guys are in your rooms. You're extremely cozy, luxurious. Just you are so pampered right now. And these 10 by 10 squares with a pallet, a tub of water, and a mat to sit on with some weird paste in a bowl.
If you ask an ant, this is truly the good life.
It is. So, is anyone doing anything particular while we rest? Over the course of the quote-unquote evening. I know you still have some issues with Kian and the lantern and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we need to get that done before he, like, nopes out of the cage.
Nope. Yeah, probably a good idea. Not gonna lie.
And while Kris has stepped out, I believe his final instructions are for Ristur to immediately pass out and start trying to get his long rest in, because I think he's a bit messed up.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. Just getting my rest in. Trying to commune with my abilities and, make sure I'm all tuned up for the journey ahead and,
Okay.
maybe putting a call in to someone.
Yeah, Bryn will peek her head out of her door and start looking around for Jimmy.
Okay.
I left the door open. I know we're in kind of a hurry here.
And I will more or less let you guys lead the tavern. I don't want to call it inn roleplay here. Just let me know what you're doing. You guys have kind of free reign to interact with one another. Take a minute, catch your breath, whatever you need.
Okay, so Bryn will peek her head out, and be like, "Psst, Jimmy."
Oh, yeah.
And she motions you into her room and says to bring your bowl.
Jimmy looks down at the nutrient paste. Yeah, maybe she's hungry. He brings the bowl.
Well, once inside, Bryn has taken a lot of the pillows out of her bag that she, scatters around the tent and has put it on the floor to make things a little more comfortable in here. And she tells Jimmy to set his pace down by hers.
Uh-oh. We're sharing pace. This is kind of serious. Serious, everybody. No, this is cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So she's then going to use prestidigitation to flavor both of their nutrient pastes, give it a little spice since that is within the rules as written for prestidigitation, and then pull 2 honey cakes that she made out of her bag and hand one to Jimmy.
Oh, no, that's better. I only eat for fun these days. I was honestly going to skip the paste.
We all only eat for fun these days, right? Paste may
Whether
not
you
be
need-
terrible.
Whether you need to eat or not, eating is still beneficial in a number of ways, and I figured we could make this at least a little more palatable while we work with Kian, Soul, and the Wish.
Yeah, it does seem like it'd be kind of heavy lifting. Magical heavy lifting, but probably it still takes it out of you. I love casting high-level spells with, items using characters that have 0 arcane knowledge. It's the most fun.
So Bryn will take her honey cake and dip it into the flavored nutrient paste and take a bite.
It's delicious. Especially with your magics. It is a definite improvement, although I don't think anyone actually tasted the paste.
All right, we gotta take a moment and ask: did Istu eat the paste? Are you a paste eater?
It depends. Am I capable of placing a collect call to someone?
Is this bound by planar distance and all? This ability?
I'm going to say the laws of logic would say yes, probably, that there would be something that I needed to do since a lot of abilities require sight, but I don't know if we established.
Is it a spell? Is it an item?
I mean, I don't know. This is just flavor. So, like, I'm not looking to actually exchange any information. It's up to you. I don't know.
You know what? Let's say Bryn took a taste of the paste before she flavored it.
Okay. The paste tastes like reconstituted animal proteins.
It's the slime. It's an uncooked chicken nugget.
Pretty much.
Oh my god. So, Jimmy, do you have what you need to make the wish?
Rakshasa, lantern, ring. If you need more than that, nobody told me.
Have you thought about how you're going to word it?
I've had some thoughts. And the most terrifying thing that he can possibly do happens. Jimmy pulls out a piece of paper.
Uh-oh.
On it, a set of sigils and runes, indecipherable, no matter what language you speak.
What are we doing?
This is Jimmy's notes.
Oh no. That indecipherable script.
Yes.
Jimmy, you know I've never been able to read that.
Oh, it just takes practice. It does not just take practice. It takes a very strange mind. Looks as if a series of chickens have been performing a square dance over the parchment. But he begins to read aloud. Yeah, what you think about this? What you think about this? Bind this Rakshasa's spirit within this lantern. Bind his power to its light. Bind his will so that he cannot whisper in the mind of the bearer. Let no force of evil ever free him to return to his home. That's about as far as I got so far.
It's good so far. I can see that you've taken my recommendations into consideration.
Well, I thought they were reasonable. You do hate to have Rakshasas whispering to you.
And this is the wish?
This is his thus far scripted attempt at the wish. I'm ready for it to go terribly wrong. He's simply sharing it with the ghost ahead of time.
Okay. So,
What you may want to, Jimmy, is put a few more words in there to ensure that Kian not just cannot whisper to the bearer, but cannot influence the bearer's personality or morals in any conceivable way.
So real quick, mechanical. When you get your wording for both my benefit and the lovely viewers at home, paste it into Roll20's chat for me, just so we have a written.
Of course, a document.
Yeah.
And then I imagine a number of rolls will occur.
20. How do I look, Ernie?
I'm so curious. I'm so curious. All right, so if doing the wish does not obliterate Jimmy or get us all kicked out somehow, Jimmy's gonna try and track down Istu for a little chat. With your eyes, Bert. Classic.
You should read the whole thing. It's hilarious.
Gold.
That is gold. It's almost emotional in a weird way.
It's
It
so
is.
good.
It kinda is.
So,
So yeah, Jimmy makes some more notes. He appears to write directly over something he had written before. It does not make it any more or less legible.
Any particular effects you want this item we're creating to have here, Jimmy?
I was just kind of gonna shove him in there and see what happens. This is not really my area.
Try not to be destroyed.
She shrugs.
I leave such things up to the whims of fate. Although this is maybe not the most ideal place for fate to have much say.
We'll make a
or
usable
whims.
lantern at least.
Yeah.
hey, you're in the plains. Fate's pretty potent.
Fate's potent, but whimsy probably not so much.
I don't know.
Not here.
Have you seen Sigil?
I've seen Sigil, but
Oh
my
yeah,
man,
no, here
this
you're
is
right.
not Sigil.
Yeah, Arcadia probably not so much.
Nah. Footloose and fancy free is like a capital crime here.
Well, Jimmy, whenever you're ready to make the wish.
One sec. He's still scratching, and I'm still writing up the text to paste.
Gotcha.
So while that's going on, then Ratt had gone to a market to try and find some raw materials, textiles, maybe some raw metals.
Okay. What are you looking for specifically?
Specifically, I'm looking for like some armor silk, and maybe if they have any raw mithril.
Okay.
I would need about maybe 5 to 7 yards of armor silk and maybe 5 pounds of a 5-pound mithril ingot.
Okay. Yeah. It's gonna cost about 300 or 400 gold.
It's manageable.
That's so expensive.
It's real expensive around here. Did you see what that paste cost?
Oh my god.
Oh, so good.
I'm sure that the nutrient balance, though, is just flawless.
The prices here are insane.
But not in a good way.
I think we've got some text. Let me paste some text.
Okay. Let's see what you got.
Also, Draken flavored the paste too, didn't he?
No, Draken just ate the paste. He's okay
He
with
just
that
ate the
flavor.
Okay.
He's not nearly as fancy as he pretends to be. He's okay with this.
I'm giving Church a moment to read the pasted text. I will perform a dramatic reading of it at the appropriate moment.
Question.
Yeah.
If the power of the Rakshasa is bound to its light, would a casting of darkness negate its ability?
That's really up to church.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
By the text that we kind of wrote up, like the prototype, here's what Keon's eye should do text. Nah, it wouldn't.
So it says bind his power to its light, but I'm wondering if that means literally like you can't use it if you're not able to see its light. Like if darkness would mess with that at all.
Well, I made this up moments ago, so there's no right answer except for what church wants.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say too, because without saying too much, because
Yeah, that's fair.
One must never say too much.
It's one of those, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. We're into something that can cast darkness at will. Oh well, lights out.
Technically, I have a sword that casts darkness whenever the hell it wants.
Oh my god, this combination of abilities is gonna be toxic.
Oh, you have no idea. Did you read the example text that Hannah posted? Oh, it's gonna be so busted.
Here, I'll post it again. I posted it again in the Discord.
Alright, but Church, have you had an opportunity to read my little wish spell?
I'm actually on my third read through right now.
Alright, he's doing the lawyering. I'm gonna let him, he gotta do his lawyering.
I'm okay with this. I mean, obviously I can't say too much, but
Yeah, it'll be whatever it is, you know?
is this your final answer?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else in particular. Like, Jimmy is not a lawyer. He's very persuasive, but he's not really one to spend all of his time setting a fortress of words around something. He's covered his bases. He's going to be casting wish with very clear intent. And the rest, you know, it'll be what it is. This is what happens when you get somebody who's not a 20th level wizard to cast wish.
This is true. Is anyone... This is your one chance to oppose before we go through, so...
Cries and wizard. In the next room, not involved.
Bryn, like, Bryn's only concerns were, like, satiated by, like, you know, telling Jimmy, like, listen, here's what you need to do, and the sound of what he said to her, like, you know, seemed pretty solid to her, so she is going to hand over the cage, hand over the lanterns. Oh, they are both within Jimmy's hands whenever he casts the wish spell.
Alright. You ready, Church?
Make your wish.
Alright. So, Jimmy has the cage in one hand, he has the lantern in the other. The ring is on his finger, properly attuned, and he begins to seek its power. Things go very still.
Speak your wish. Look out.
Bind this Rakshasa's spirit within this lantern. Bind his power to its light, subservient to the bearer. Bind his will so that he cannot influence the mind of the bearer. Let no force of evil ever free him to return to his home. Let no blow shatter his prison. By the end of it, Jimmy's voice has gone solemn, kind of strange. Almost doesn't sound like him at all.
Alright. So a surge of power rocks through you. You feel the essence of all creation, of all universe, of all reality just course through you in a moment. this surge of power passes through you in a jolt that makes your entire body convulse for a moment, and you feel it just force directly into the lantern, which immediately just illuminates brightly enough to almost blind you for a moment. This flash of intense light fills the room, and as it does, you hear this growling, feline, rumbling screech pass through, fade, muffle, and then go quiet, and the light goes out.
Very quietly, Jimmy says, "Gotcha, you bastard. This one's not getting away."
Bryn has a very satisfactory smile, and she is going to reach out and take her empty, tiny silver cage.
Feels lighter.
The lantern, I imagine, feels very strange indeed.
The lantern is humming with power.
Bryn's going to be looking at that lantern now. Eyeing it.
When the powers of creation themselves rushed through him in order to trap a soul that is usually not trappable, Jimmy's heart beat once.
That surge.
Yes. Normally it doesn't, but some things are unavoidable. He's breathing heavily. Not something he technically has to do most of the time either.
How do you feel, Jimmy?
Is that what magic is normally like? How could you do that all day? It's exhausting.
You tapped into some of the most powerful forces of all creation, Jimmy. Though in my particular magic, I do touch at the edges of that very magic of creation myself. It's similar, but you can probably imagine why we need our rest before we can cast spells again.
No, I get it. That's a day's march right there. He holds up the lantern, turns it from side to side.
Cranky. You peer through the translucent aspects of the lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, you can actually see what appears to be the head of the Rakshasa floating in ambient space within, eyes closed, as if slumbering.
Good. Good. Did Draken and I tell you about the last time we let one get away?
I don't think that you have, Jimmy. When was this?
Let's fetch Draken. He knows the story too, and he does the shadow puppets better than me. You should always tell a story when you're celebrating.
Stories are always good.
Yeah. So he goes to fetch Draken out of his room, or join him there, as it were.
Draken is sleeping.
Aw, Draken's asleep. I let him rest.
He is trying to get a long rest. He's had a rough couple of days.
It's been a hard couple. Jimmy says, we'll have to do without the shadow puppets. Guy barely sleeps. You gotta let him get it in sometimes. But he says, long time ago, back on Cairn, you wound up at some little pissant farming village, some little burg out in the countryside. On a job. There'd been some disappearances, kids, a few sightings of ghosts. No, you laugh. We had ghosts there too.
I'm not laughing because I don't believe you, Jimmy. I'm smiling and laughing in familiarity, you should say.
Yeah, they probably didn't have much on these big city ghosts, but there were definitely a couple, and something else.
Jimmy, I commune with all ghosts. Ones that have lived in the city, ones that have lived in very rural areas. All pass through the astral plane on their journeys to their final destinations.
Yeah. What about liches? Always wondered where liches go.
Liches are a bit of a special case, Jimmy.
Well, this one
The
was
details
definitely
of which
special.
I do not know much.
I don't know too many details either, but there was one there. Zindel. Zindel, I think.
I haven't heard that name.
Turns out, the farmer been seeing the ghosts, had actually been stealing the kids, burying them out in the swamp in barrels, alive. Though not for very long, you can imagine. Then the lich had come and taken them, for, well, whatever liches do. We got the farmer. Draken burned some ghosts, but the lich just looked at us. I saw him across the swamp. Eyes were fire, and he turned and walked away. Jimmy moves to hang the lantern off of his belt. I believe he had a big part in bringing down that huge chunk of blackness and death.
I do
Decided
feel,
I didn't let him walk away anymore after that.
I do feel as though you've mentioned Zendel of the Aberrant Flame before.
Yeah. I would say may he rot in hell, but I'm pretty sure they're cut off from that too.
And I
Oh, indubitably.
do just want to point out as a footnote to anyone who may be unfamiliar with our extended tale, we are reaching way back. We were reaching, I think, back to like
Arc
adventure
1.
number 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Early December 2019.
Mystery of the Farmer's Wife.
I wanted to do it here because I wanted to make it clear. Jimmy doesn't forget.
Brilliant.
Jimmy remembers Cairn with astonishing clarity, and it's always on his mind.
Brilliant. I love it.
But that particular episode was very, very telling because could level. Did we start at 1 or 3? I think we started at 1.
1.
Level 1 Jimmy and crew were not gonna take a lich.
No. That was
But,
neither Jimmy. That was including Jimmy Snapcrack.
yeah, we had Jimmy Snapcrack. That was
Good
Jimmy
times.
the Mouth, Jimmy Snapcrack, Master, Draken.
That might have been it. And Maury.
We had Mori, yeah.
No Freya yet.
No
Freya yet.
Freya, no Kong.
Oh, I miss Maury.
But, yeah, could we have taken a lich? No. But the repercussions of not even trying. Jimmy feels these. So, he hangs the lantern. He says, no more immortal foes and rivals. None of that.
Well, now you have a ghost lantern of your very own, Jimmy. Are you going to go get some rest now?
I don't
Poor
really do
Draken.
that anymore.
Oh, even if it's not sleep, Jimmy, you surely need rest of some kind.
I could put my feet up a while.
Are you going to retire to your room to go do that now?
Jimmy, tired as he is, gets a look in his eye. Say that like somebody who has suggestions.
No suggestions. I'm just curious. I was going to catch a rest myself, having eaten now.
Jimmy winks and then makes off for his chambers. Well, you know what they say about curiosity.
Killed the new cat girl? No, wait. No. Tabaxi.
I never held with that one much. Always been a curious type myself.
Ooh, is too. Dang. On fire.
I wanted to give that to the group at large so that they could hit these lines. Thank you very much, Master Miss.
On fire.
Yeah.
All right.
I had to
anyway.
fully mute for that one.
Hang on.
I had to fully mute for that one. Distance myself as much as possible from Alice. Like, I can't not say it. But, ooh.
I'm so glad that you decided to take the serve, you know? It was going begging for a moment there, but you hit it. Thank you. But we'll let the tension of that rest there for a moment, and Jimmy's going to take a moment to look at this lantern and see if he can suss it out. Long rest or short rest to attune?
Short rest?
Short rest. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll do it anyways. You know, I only have to sleep 4 hours. It's not even really sleep.
Okay. Yeah, there's no problem. You guys are in basically an inn, so resting is no problem. You are in no immediate danger right now, at this moment.
Oh, I suppose I'd probably arrive then.
Yeah, did you spend the money?
I did.
Okay. Then you'll have what you were looking for. This is, like I said, a very big trade burg, so finding things is pretty easy here.
Okay.
Especially
would've-
mundane, non-magical items like that.
Yeah.
And Mithril is close to Clangen.
I should have picked up more.
It's like Pepsi.
Yeah, you can find anything.
Stuff comes in really handy.
You want to buy an artifact? I'm sure someone's selling it, even if you can't afford it.
Want the hand of Vecna? Let's talk.
Oh.
Since it's on everyone's mind.
I don't think
I
I'm
think
able
it
enough.
rests you for even asking that here.
Yeah.
might get frowned on a little.
Just a little.
Unless you went to the 3rd level.
They don't
third
frown
level?
there. They have no expressions.
Evil bastards.
What 3rd level? It doesn't even exist on Arcadia anymore.
There are some rumors that if you are on the 3rd level, you can still get to the 2nd, though.
Mm-hmm.
Rumors, mind you.
Planar mysteries.
Planar mysteries.
The Modrons say hello.
So,
One does not jink
Yep.
the dead book today, yes.
I swear I'm gonna bring back Yalim. Rat, what are you building? Or are you building something right now?
I'm not particularly. I'm just going to, before I go to bed, I'm going to refresh a 3rd level spell slot with my refueling ring.
Hmm.
And then craft one warding slug.
Alright. And you guys want to, you can take a long rest here.
That does succeed on crafting the slug. And then I will take my rest in the hotel that everybody else is in.
Wise. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that long rest.
All right. Yeah, everyone can take their long rest if they choose to. Will not force it.
I am taking one. That's why I was sleeping.
Goodbye, temporary hit points. Hello, regular hit points. It's good to see you again.
That is a lot of hit points. That can't be right.
Oh yeah. Do I discover anything about the lantern as I contemplate it?
So you attune with it,
Mm.
allowing you to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Strangely, even though you're attuned, you're not entirely sure what will happen when you activate it.
I love that the most. You know, I'll probably avoid doing
What's that?
activating it here. We'll be a bit closer to home, I think, when this thing goes off for the first time. Maybe in a less populated area. Clear blast radius.
Okay, this sounds good. So, when you awake or come out of your trance, somehow, the bowls have replenished.
That's a little strange.
I didn't need it anyway.
Oh, my honey cakes aren't going to be any good. Gods, how long will it be before we get back to Sigil? Oh, pike it. And she'll prestidigitation the slop and just eat it.
Jimmy looks at the bowl of paste and says, "Some days I miss having to eat. Not today." Not today.
Yeah, Ratt looks at it and just says, no. Grabs a length of jerky out of his vest.
Bryn likes to eat too much.
Yeah.
And she gets hangry if she misses a meal.
If it feels late enough in the morning, Jimmy's gonna go around and try and rouse everybody.
Okay. Anybody resisting?
And Stu's just staring into space, like, creepily, and looks towards the door right before it opens, like, oh, hi.
Bryn from behind the door will, like, whenever Jimmy comes up to hers, she'll say, "I'm putting on my corset cover, Jimmy. I'll be out in a second."
Jimmy actually wanted to stop and chat with Istu, so Istu already being up and aware is pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
So when he opens the door and you say that, he says, "Oh, good, good." And then he kind of steps in and he closes the door behind him to a crack. Are you just kind of kneeling on your pallet in the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Jimmy will walk over and kind of sit on the ground cross-legged.
Hello.
I'm gonna level with you, Stu. Still don't really know what you're doing here. Still don't really know who you work for. I no longer care. You followed us across the plains, and you fought a bunch of devils, like a whole bunch. And I figure, if you were really looking to put a knife in my back, you had plenty of opportunities at this point. So, I'm just gonna trust you.
Epic.
Maybe not to the death, you know. Yeah, my line of work, you don't extend that sort of trust very often. But, I'm gonna trust you.
I mean, trusting me with the hat was a lot.
Yeah, I am very fond of it. He takes it off his head and looks at it. But
Yeah.
you did your job. You didn't have to do that. I respect that. So, you ever want to tell me what it is exactly you want out of this whole mess? You tell me. In the meantime, I'll only pry if it's funny.
Well, when you find out, it'll all make sense.
Jimmy stands. You underestimate my stubbornness and ignorance. I found out a lot of stuff without it starting to make sense.
True.
Tips his hat at you and makes to leave.
Istu sits on the pallet with a contented smile.
So I will say, one thing you may have noticed about the pallets
Mhm.
is they are not woven, they are spun. And within them, the padding, whatever is inside of them, is perfectly aligned to create an absolute level surface to lay on.
Yeah, level doesn't help support a woman's curves. That's why Bryn took all of her pillows out.
Yeah.
Which, now that she has her dress on again, she's going to be stuffing all those back into her bag and probably opening her door and coming out into the hall very shortly.
Awesome.
Jimmy poked at his and imagined a perfectly flat person to sleep on it and eat the paste, and he says, "Shame, really. Just not the right kind of guest."
For some reason, I feel like this place might have actually appealed to Jimmy on some level.
I think it's, it's kind of a mixed bag. He is aligned with the principles here more than not.
He's always been a little Spartan, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's so aligned he doesn't even need the nutrient paste.
It's true. So, as we gather and have your breakfast, if you do, is anyone doing anything special here at the inn in the morning?
I will ask Ratt if he got his stuff he was looking for.
Yes, I did find the raw materials that I need to make the most excellent garment.
Garment. What do they sell around here? Jimmy's just making idle conversation.
Well, it was a massive trading hub. It was anything you could find. I mean, I was only looking at the raw materials end of the market, but there's a giant dwarven stronghold full of master craftsmen over there. I mean, I would assume that you can get a lot of stuff here.
Jimmy tilts his head. Think they got a shipyard?
I would imagine a bustling trade hub would have some need of transportation logistics.
Don't know how many people really ship goods through the between the spheres. You know, I think most of them like the portal instead.
Yeah,
I was thinking about jammers.
Yeah, you're not gonna find any jammers here.
Jimmy, we can find jammers and Sigil. Furthermore, we have business back in the cage.
That we
The
do.
logistics hub probably has a portal back to Sigil.
Yeah.
So if we could find a shipping yard, maybe that would be a good place to look for a way home. Or if...
It'd be a fair enough reason to start with some of the denizens around here and ask if there's a nearby portal to Sigil. Or any easy way that we can get back anyways. Ask the innkeeper downstairs first.
Oh, I will.
maybe
And
there's
Ratt, I appreciate you assuming I was making an intelligent choice, but honestly, I just wanted to do a price check.
Oh,
Though, honestly, around here, it's probably a couple of small kingdoms.
well, even the raw materials seemed a little expensive, but in comparison, like, I mean, it's on a fluctuating scale, right? Like, I was able to get some very, very affordably priced mithril here, given our proximity to the dwarven place where it comes from. But the armor silk might have been a little more expensive. I figured that might have been a little cheaper, on the cheaper side, given the insectoid nature of the local inhabitants. But maybe they're not a silk producing race.
Well, Jimmy, I'll let you in on a little bit of the dark that I do know about jammers.
Oh, sure, let's hear it.
From my readings, a spelljammer can be any ship, literally any ship. The most important thing that makes a spelljammer is the helm. These are special sort of chairs that are attached to the interior of a ship, and the price of one depends on what sort of spelljamming ship you want. They range in price from about 150,000 gold to 250,000 gold, depending.
Oh, that's it?
Jimmy seems to almost collapse.
So much money.
Their helms are rare and made with very powerful magic.
His cutlass fingers are itching. There's ways besides gold. So as we chat, we're heading down, and Jimmy stops to ask the innkeeper in his Cairn-accented dwarvish, "Might you direct us to the portal hub? We seek passage to Sigil."
All roads lead to the hub. Just head straight towards the top.
How reasonable. Thank you.
Will you be staying with us again tonight?
No, we will travel onwards.
Are you sure you would not like to reserve a room?
Doing a sort of insight check against a Formian is probably kind of hard, but that doesn't mean I won't try.
Okay. What are you trying to figure out?
Well, in Jimmy's experience, saying, "Are you sure you don't want to do thing?" is a line that is, one, very common for the mob, or two, implying that they know something very specific that you are blisteringly unaware of.
Fair.
And I would like to tell if it's one or the other, basically.
Sure, go ahead.
17 insight.
You get the sense that she's maybe just trying to upsell you.
Oh, that's easy enough then. Jimmy says, no, thank you. We should really be along. Plans to keep up with, you know.
Would you like to perhaps invest in our frequent traveler program?
Jimmy smiles real big. Says, I'm afraid I don't really get out of the city much.
Well, this is all the more reason.
I will contemplate this.
Well, you may return at any time, and I assure you it is an incredible value, as you can tell from your luxurious stay here with us on this previous evening. I bid you a fond good day, safe travels, and we do hope to see you again.
Jimmy nods in appreciation and makes his way out.
All right. Everybody following suit?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right. And where are we headed?
Well, all roads lead to the portal hub. Head upwards.
To the
Jimmy
portal?
looks. It should be easy enough to tell which way is up.
Yes, no, that's no problem. Navigating in this city is
Blessedly simple.
blessedly simple, refreshingly easy.
As we stroll, Jimmy says in common, you know, they set this place up pretty nice. Everything's where you expect it. No tricky alleys. It doesn't form a torus and you have to figure out which way is up all the time.
So,
What do you mean, which way is up, Jimmy? It's easy. Up is just whatever is above you.
I had some trouble with it when I first got there, you know? I'm used to a slightly more spherical world.
that's also fair.
And, you know, I saw the normal sorts of things when I looked up. Sun, sky, clouds, or if it was night, you know, black, stars, Godhead. That's what the sky should look like. You go to Sigil, the sky is just Sigil again.
Literally. Oh, look, there's a haze. Probably sigil on the other side of it.
Yes. Oh, it's a pretty clear day. Oh, look, that's Sigil over there. Yeah. How far is it to the portal hub?
It's a 15-minute walk.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So, you make your way to the portal hub.
Mhm.
The bustling gets more and more crowded as you go. I will say, to save time, because it's not really that big a deal, you will dodge a couple harmonium patrols. Most likely just...
On instinct alone.
An instinct alone. You guys are all just kind of like that at this point. It's like, oh, look, authority. Nope.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I only deal with them when they're paying me to.
Exactly. So
There's a
you'll...
reason my drink was disorderly.
It's true. So you make your way to the hub. You have no problem navigating. It is 150 gold to go through. A piece.
150 gold.
Brand will pay that.
Is it posted? Like, is there a posted notice, or does somebody have to tell us?
There is a posted notice and a large contingent of the warrior caste of these creatures guarding the portals.
Jimmy is doing sums in his head and is displeased by the numbers that result.
It's an expensive town.
It's a very expensive town. He looks at his people. He counts.
Bryn is already like, she's holding 160 gold in her hand, and she's handing Jimmy like 10 gold from like the night before to give to him, and she's like, you know, clearly indicating that she's going to pay her own way.
Yeah. Look, I'm independently wealthy. I don't need no man. The ghost
that
has
big a
her shit
deal. Like
together.
Ratt will finance it. Like he is independently wealthy. He's been crafting magic items and selling them for 100 years.
Well, don't let Jimmy fool you.
Jimmy is also not broke. Well, so here's the trick, right? So a lot of Jimmy's wealth is tied up in the Wiggle Tongue.
Sure. Ratt keeps
And
a
it's
walking
not
around
spent.
fund, and if he needs to, he can always craft and sell something pretty quickly.
Yeah. So of the money that Jimmy has, he can actually afford to pay passage for everybody, but that's the walking around money gone. And he'll do so, but as he does so, he comments to Draken, I feel like we're gonna have to come out of the Forktail Casino with maybe a little more than good information.
I could do that. I
Yeah.
could. I've been known to get thrown out of a casino before.
Oh, I've hit
Let's-
casinos. They're
Let's
always
keep
fun.
that in mind. That'll be real good for the slush fund.
I've defended
what?
casinos too.
Jimmy,
That
I'm
wasn't
not
as
going
fun.
to let you gamble at a fiendish casino.
Who said anything about
did not
gambling?
say a thing about gambling. That's a terrible way to earn money.
We are gonna run a heist.
Jimmy is counting out an enormous stack of gold.
Ratt starts
Yeah.
to think about explosive options for breaching vaults.
Well,
Jimmy pays.
you pay. And they very,
Ouch.
very courteously accept. Thank you very, very kindly. And even offer you a hand as you step through the portal.
Oh, how nice.
It's a chitinous, slightly spiky hand,
But a hand
a
nonetheless.
hand nonetheless.
All right.
If everyone steps through, yeah.
Sigil
I
bound.
do.
So
Yep.
as you step through the portal,
I missed one.
as you step through the portal,
Oh.
you all hear, dum dum. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Tell me somebody got that. Dum, dum. You step through the portal, and once again, find yourself very gingerly outside the Harmonium headquarters. Deposited from
That
what
seems about
appears
right.
to be a mailbox.
I'm confused.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter.
Means we found another portal into the city and out.
Unless it's one way. Not sure. Not sure what
Could
the
be.
key is either.
He says, I feel like they'd want the fee going in as well. They're a very balanced sort around there. He shakes himself. Well, my pockets are lighter. Let's get back to base. We've got an enormous mess to clean up.
Indeed. So, you will be able to make it back to HQ unmolested. No problem.
Yes. As midnight has arrived,
I was about to say this is probably a good spot to nip it. For
yes, because
now.
there will be many dramatic developments. We have a few people who've been taken hostage. and we'll probably have to start dealing with that that RP bit almost immediately.
Yeah, and I believe most likely, and this is entirely up to you, but most likely I believe your next stop is going to finally be the Split Tail Casino. We've been
Yes.
talking about this place for weeks.
For weeks. It's come around. We've done everything we wanted. We accidentally went to Arcadia.
Which was unexpected even for me.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, but it was fun. It was fun. I like that we're getting some travel in. But yeah, we'll go ahead and call it for here for now. And this was actually fun. I liked that we got to stop through Mandible on the way.
It was cool. It was cool. Jimmy got to see another plane. He's getting a little bit of salt on him for traveling the plains.
Yeah. What level are you guys now? 9, 10?
13.
13.
Oh,
Yeah, we made it a little
hopefully-
further. We're up there.
My.
And possibly 14, because we have faced quite a bit,
Oh my goodness.
including the demonic hit squad.
Oh my goodness.
We leveled after the demonic hit squad, though, didn't we?
No, we
I don't
didn't.
think we did.
We didn't?
No.
We did
No.
not.
I could have sworn we
Oh,
leveled.
you guys
did
don't
not.
need levels. Come on. What's levels got to do with it? You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead. Everything you guys have been through, including the hit squad, which was very tough. It was a tough fight. And then the getting drugged and the Ifrits and meeting with Scratch. It's worth it. You guys go ahead, take a level.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Somebody,
generous and powerful.
Be
DM.
sure to tell Ristur if someone can. If I don't,
Yeah, we'll pop it in the chat there.
but yeah. Thank you for joining us, you guys at home. Chronic Wiper 666. Thanks for joining us. Cranky Old Mage, you're always a pleasure to see you, and I love the Taco Bell jokes. It's good to see you. And of course, my lovely players, thank you so much. This is always a blast. And we will see you back in Cairn in 1 week.
Yes. We're in a volcano over there. It's very interesting.
And you
But
are...
we beat the King of Ash and Bone.
Yeah,
So
you guys are surviving, as you always do.
We're trying.
Skin of your teeth, brilliantly. So we will be back. You don't want to miss that. We are so close to wrapping that up. So we'll see you guys then, and good night.
good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey.